Hello, my name is Mark Krutell. I'm the security manager for my virtual academy. Before this job, I was a police officer in Clinton Township for 25 years and worked the road for 25 years. So I thought I'd spend a couple minutes with you today to explain a few things regarding the Michigan driver's license here in the state of Michigan. So the first thing I like to cover is that it is a privilege to operate a motor vehicle on a public highway. So being that it's a privilege, if you take advantage of that privilege, the Secretary of State has the right and will take that privilege away from you. Your parent and or legal guardian has the right to contact the Secretary of State up until the age of 18 to pull your driver's license for whatever reasons. If you don't get your homework done and you're not behaving, things aren't going well at home, the parents do have the privilege to do this until you turn the age of 18. So another one of the things that I want to cover with you regarding driving in Michigan, as a driver of a car, you're responsible for anything that transpires inside of your vehicle. So if you've got some friends that on your way to a football game sneak some alcohol into your car, you as the driver are the one that's going to be responsible. If there are any weapons on any of your friends inside that car, you as the driver are going to be found responsible for having that inside of your vehicle. So just once again, I want to make sure you're aware of it, that anything that transpires inside that vehicle while you're driving, and on the outside of your vehicle for that matter also, you are responsible as the driver. The next item I'd like to cover with you is regarding the cell phones. Cell phones are a valuable tool if they're used correctly. I have 3 children, they're all grown up right now, and when I broke them in driving with cell phones, our rule was that the cell phone's locked in the glove box. If it's locked in the glove box, you can still hear if somebody's calling you. At that time, you can pull over to the side of the road into a parking lot where you're safe, turn your car off, unlock the glove box with the key from the ignition, and answer your phone. It's a very big distraction when people use cell phones, and it's against the law. So you can be ticketed for driving while on your cell phone. Another item that I like to discuss with you is nowadays there appears to be more and more road rage incidents coming up. So I'm going to give you a couple pointers on how to protect yourself regarding road rage. You want to avoid eye contact with a person that's trying to get involved with you. Make sure that you're familiar with your surroundings, that you know where you're at. Always try to know where the nearest local police station is at in case you need to drive to get some help. Also want to avoid tunnel vision. And what I mean by tunnel vision is when we're driving, we want to be able to watch to the right, we want to be able to watch to the left, make sure we know what our surroundings are, who's behind us from our rear view mirror, our side view mirrors, and like I said, avoid any kind of eye contact, hand gestures with any drivers that you feel are going to be coming into a road rage incident. So another item that I like to talk to you about is the 2 major leading causes of accidents. The first cause of accident here in the state of Michigan that is most probable to happen is people get rear-ended. And the reason people get rear-ended is because we do not leave enough room between the front bumper of our car and the back bumper of the vehicle ahead of us. And these distances vary depending on the weather, the speed that we're going, and the traffic that we're traveling on. So for whatever reason, the vehicle in front of you comes to an abrupt stop, that a child ran out in the street, a ball rolled out in the street, which is usually followed by a child to get the ball. Us as drivers behind us need to leave plenty of room for us to come to a complete stop without hitting a vehicle in front of us. The second problem that I'd like to talk to you about where people make mistakes is on 5-lane highways. Usually the speed limit's 50 miles an hour, sometimes a little bit more, with left-hand turn lanes. For example, if we're heading southbound on Groesbeck from 15 Mile Road and we're in a left-hand turn lane and we want to turn into Harbor Freight, if the traffic that's coming northbound is at a stop, the first lane stops to give you an opening for you to turn. It is your responsibility to make sure that that next curb lane comes to a complete stop before you make a turn. What happens is a vehicle will stop in the first lane and they'll wave you through, like, go ahead and cut in front of me. Then the driver completes their left-hand turn, and lo and behold, next thing you know, they're sideswiped by the vehicle doing 50 miles an hour in the next lane. So that's the top 2 reasons for accidents here in the state of Michigan. So I'd like to give you some friendly advice what to do if and when you get pulled over by a police officer. You always want to pull to the right-hand side of the road, off the traffic way as far as possible, or into a parking lot. And you want to keep your hands at 10 and 2 o'clock on the steering wheel when the officer approaches you. You want to make sure that you have the radio turned down on your car. Make sure that nobody in your car is on a cell phone at that time. And you can watch him coming up to your car to see which side he's coming up on by using your mirrors, and make sure that you have the appropriate window down so that he can speak with you and hear you clearly. And when he does talk to you, he's going to request that you have 3 things with you: your driver's license, your registration to that motor vehicle that you're driving, and your proof of insurance. So it's advisable that you have these things always together in an appropriate spot where you know where they are all the time, so that you can easily obtain these to hand them over to the officer for his investigation, to let him know who you are, what the vehicle is, and who it's insured with. Once the officer gets this information from you, it's up to him to let him know why he stopped you in the first place, and he will continue with his investigation going forward from there. One last thing that I'd like to cover for the new drivers here in the state of Michigan is every driver in the state of Michigan needs to learn to drive defensively all the time. So always make sure you're aware of your surroundings, what other vehicles are doing, where other vehicles are at around you, and that will help maintain your safety and everybody else's safety. If you drive on the offense, that's usually where aggressive drivers come into play, and that's where tickets get issued. We have accidents and people get hurt. So I ask that you continue to use your driver's license as a privilege here in the state of Michigan, and you drive defensively all the time, all year long. Thank you. Have a good day.